All right, we'll do it again.
For us, it's about sharing the ball. It starts with me and my energy, my effort on both ends of the floor, and come out from the start. And today was a good start for us, and the best thing about it, we kept it on through 4 quarters.
And with Dennis Schroeder now back, how would you describe just what he's capable of doing for this team?
A little bit of everything. On both ends of the floor, shoot the ball, mid-range game. It's very hard to keep him out of the paint with his speed. He's able to finish at the rim, too. So gives us another attacker, another ball handler. And then on defense, he's one of the best on-ball defenders that we have in this game. So, he has a dimension that we didn't have without him for that week.
LeBron, we spoke to Renee Montgomery. We did a report during the game about the history that she made, the first WNBA player to be an executive and an owner of the Atlanta Dream, of any team in the WNBA. And she talked to us about how you played a role in that. How does that make you feel knowing that you were able to impact this situation?
It's an honor, and it makes me feel extremely proud for Renee and for the group that was able to put together to acquire that dream team. And to her specifically, I know it's always been a dream of hers, and for me to have a group around me and for me to be able to put her in a position where she's able to be an investor and also a team owner of such a beautiful league. They do an unbelievable job in that league, and I'm happy to be able to lend a hand. So it made me extremely proud to see that news and to see her to succeed and to see her be the queen that she is.
The Los Angeles Lakers getting the victory over the Golden State Warriors. I mentioned that the Warriors took that victory from them last time, so they avenged that in a sense. The Lakers led in this game. It seems like they led by 1,000,000 points in this one. It was no contest whatsoever. GA, just looking at this Lakers team, we know that Golden State's been up and down. Steph's had his big nights. Tonight, clearly not one of those. But what does it do for the Lakers' confidence, seeing they've been consistently inconsistent playing against teams on their home floor? What does this victory do for them moving forward?
Well, listen, they had been struggling mightily offensively in particular, and I think it just starts to build momentum for them, right, Channing? Like they know how good they are, having won a championship, and they also know because of the injuries, it hadn't allowed them to play at a high level. But in reality, LeBron hadn't been very good in that 4-game stretch, and him being off and not having anybody else that could carry the load offensively put a strain on that team, and then getting Schroeder back in the lineup, and tonight you saw them play offensively the way we saw them for stretches in the bubble in particular last year. So I think it just gets them back on track. They had hiccups last year. They've had this one. They'll probably have another one before the season's over. But they're about trying to build momentum and making sure they peak as we get closer to the postseason.
6 players in double figures tonight. They didn't have any 20-point scores, but they were able to balance it out amongst a lot of different players. Channing, and we talked about this with other teams, when teams like, the Spurs or Miami, they give other players different opportunities during the season to step up and maybe fill in a role that they normally wouldn't. Is that what you're seeing with this Lakers team today?
Yeah, I love it. And a person that I think is taking the Dennis Schroeder, and I'm saying this in the nicest way possible, is the most annoying person in the NBA, and he causes havoc, right? He picks you up full court. He's going for steals. He's calling out your plays. What he does for the Lakers is that he gets them easy baskets. If you notice, LeBron got 2 breakaways due to steals, right? When LeBron gets stuck in the half court, it's hard for him to get by guys now that he's 57 years old. But if he can get out in a fast break and that train is coming down the tracks, a lot of people like Giannis going to get out the way. So for me, the Lakers defense really predicates their offense. And during that 4-game streak without, or loss, or 3-game, 4-game, without Anthony Davis and without Schroeder, they're having problems getting stops. And so for me, Wesley Matthews has stepped up on and off. Obviously Caruso's going to do what he needs to do. But Kuzma is a guy that needs to take this opportunity and continue building blocks. But he's done a great job.
Done a great job indeed tonight as the Lakers now go to 5-6 without Anthony Davis in the lineup, as he's still. Obviously, we talked about it. Jrue Holiday is back after missing 10 games. GA, starting with you, the value that he brings, number one, back to this team. Although they've been streaking with him out of the lineup, what does he bring back, and what did you see in this game today?
Well, he brings another high IQ player who can play make in the half court. And you heard Giannis talk about it, and Channing and I and you were talking about this during the break. They are creating more opportunities for Giannis to play downhill. And so in the half court, that last play where he got that slam, that was created off a good offense that put the Clippers in rotation. And when you're in rotation and the court is spaced like that because you got to guard a three-pointer, and Giannis plays that right, when he puts it on the floor to attack there's no rim protection, there's no rotation weak side, and he's just playing downhill. And so those are the kinds of plays you get more consistently with Jrue Holiday in the lineup. And not to mention you get a much better defender as well. And so great job by them to hold the Clippers to 17 points in the fourth quarter. That's impressive. And that's when they needed it at winning time. And Giannis continues to get better. And Channing, you said this, like, this has been good for him as a basketball player, but this has been good for them as a team. The adversity they've dealt with, right? They haven't had any adversity really in the regular season the last 2 years. Now they got this huge roster turnover, and they're transitioning a little bit of how they play. It's not just watch Giannis go make a play. Let's create opportunities for our best player to attack. And that's what they, I think, get more of with Jrue Holiday in that lineup. And also Chris Middleton, although he didn't get named an all-star, I felt like he was having an all-star
for sure
first half of the season.
Channing, I just have to know, is this a scheme offensively that's going to work in the postseason when the game counts?
Absolutely. Because Jrue Holiday is one of the best screen and roll guys. They're not doing it as much, but they're doing it a lot more than what they were last year. Also, Giannis is not the guy on the screen and roll as much as he was. He's the guy screening and rolling. And when he screens and rolls with, Brook Lopez out there shooting, with all the other shooters that they have, it's impossible to guard. You saw the alley-oop he had, right? It was Chris Middleton running that, and that's the evolution of the guys around Giannis is going to make Giannis even more dangerous, right? You look at the Golden State Warriors of old. Klay Thompson was dangerous because he could have 2 points, and then in our third quarter, he's going to give you 30, right? Just because you're like, okay, we switch from this defense to this defense. Okay, now we got to play straight up, and then he goes off for 40. So for me, they have gone through a little bit of the mud. They're coming out of the end of this, and they're going to be a dangerous, dangerous team. And I think not getting a lot of attention this year, as the other teams are, is making them a little angry, a little grouchy.
Yeah, they are flying under the radar a little bit right now. 4 straight games of Giannis scoring 35